A video was circulating online, Dom,
What video?
and you were dancing.
Oh God.
You were dancing.
I was dancing.
How do you think you looked?
Terrible.
How do you
Absolutely terrible.
You didn't look like you felt that you looked terrible.
At the time, I felt on top of the world.
Oh God. What video?
It was, what was it? You know when this is how you do it comes on in a function.
Montel Jordan.
Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
And before our eyes,
Unclehood hard, man.
a 55-year-old man.
This has come at a very bad time as well because I was with my friend and his two young boys on Saturday, and the 3-year-old just said to me out of nowhere, "Uncle Dom, you've got no hair." Just out of nowhere. Kid's a piece of shit, man.
But that's funny.
It's funny. That's what I mean. Objectively funny.
It's funny.
There was no like follow-on question or anything. It was just like, you got no hair.
And then carry on playing with
Not
Lego.
even your bald.
La, la,
You've got no
Run
hair.
away.
You've got no hair hurts more than you're bald. I swear to God, it's worse, man.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
It is not, you can't argue against that.
Do you know how much tighter my hat came on when he said that as well, man? Have you embraced Unclehood?
Yeah, when I got that barbecue for my birthday, when I got
kind of barbecue
that's
was
what it was. It's got one of the sort of dome shaped. It's a Weber.
Oh, okay, so you've not quite gotten to the opener. Like
No, they're not. That's when you're doing volume. I think that'll be the next step.
no, that whether it's volume or not, that is the real sign of respect on the grill. You've been given the start pack. When you got that bowl, they said, "Let's test it."
This is
buying you.
This is a Weber anniversary. The guy's got the thing with the charcoal underneath. I've got multi-level cooking.
What
I've
is
got
the
slow
coldest,
cooker.
the coldest temperature outside that you've barbecued in since you've had it? Are you like, you doing this?
I've not done loads just because of the summer. I've like maybe 13,
that's still
maybe
that's
13.
Still decent.
I wouldn't go out in the rain yet.
Yeah.
That's like this is happening.
That's
that meat's been in.
midlife crisis mode.
Yeah.
I think barbecuing in the rain.
I don't think it's crisis. I think that's like you've ascended.
Yeah.
You've ascended above crisis.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
What shoes do you wear while you're barbecuing?
So I don't want to say because the person's been cancelled.
Oh, you wearing Yeezys?
It's the slides.
You be wearing Yeezys?
Yeah, socks and Yeezy slides.
Wow.
Goodness.
I need to be comfortable. You know, there's a lot of.
I would say that is Uncle fashion.
Yeah, Birkenstocks, Boston
I
clogs.
bought some clog Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
Right, well, you're not a grill master because literally,
Well, you're not
I
a
don't even have an outdoor area at my house.
yeah, they will get clouted. Like you're not going to do it in Birkenstocks clogs.
I'll give it a try.
You've got to understand that they're not for show. This is grill. Like one day I will get to the sandal with the mashed up heel at the back. Is that what you've got?
Not yet. See, I'm just about, if I go into the garden, like the Crocs will come out.
That's I can see that. There's a guy who works in the Chiswick sort of head office, and he's like in charge of like just making sure everything's stocked up. And he's been like trying to sell me on Crocs.
Oh, Crocs are great.
Forever.
They
I used to go to the
very
pool.
comfortable.
But it's not for me right now. But I'm not hating on anyone anymore about it. I understand.
Well, that's fair.
You can't hate. Like you're in Uncle in training level 1.
That's fair.
Yeah, that sounds like initial uncle.
Do you recognise your uncleness?
Oh, I've been an uncle.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I'm happy with this now.
I ain't never been cool. Like I didn't have the cool phase to kind of transition out of. So it's been a really smooth move for me.
You gotta just embrace it, man.
It's great. Yeah. Like I'll be making noises when I sit down, when I get up. I'll be like, oh, back. Listen,
I got out of bed yesterday,
age,
right? And Yali literally said to me, she's like, "Is everything all right?" Because I made a noise. I was just like, "Just moved, didn't I?" Literally just moved.
I breathed.
Yeah, that was it.
Like,
My ankle literally just cracked as we're talking about
Jeez.
Jeez.
Come on, man.
Right, it's a mess. I just get just a really localized pain, too localized for me to even Google. I can't even. That was so acute. That's not going to have the answer.
Yeah.
So you just have to live with it.
Dom, you need to just embrace this. I do not understand why you're trying to.
Honestly, like I'm done. I am done. I think since we last recorded, I ruptured a ligament in my ankle. I cannot play basketball anymore, but I will play basketball.
Of course you will.
And I am gonna have to be the old guy now.
Yeah.
Because I can't move like I used to. Like literally cannot do it anymore. So it's like these are the little steps I'm just having to take to embrace it. Turn up, be slow, be fundamental. That's it. I've got nothing else anymore.
Uncle Skyhook.
That's it. That's it. You know what the thing is? Yeah. I was doing a sky hook when I ruptured it. So I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still got a MIDI. Just that's it.
That's it. That's it. Pull up. That's it. I've got nothing left, man.
Yeah, it's the body for me. That's how I know I'm in my auntie. Oh, I'm not in it. Okay, I'm approaching. I did a freaking Ironman. Okay, last year, but that also
Who was our last guest on this podcast?
That Oh, that's true. But Donna, but she doesn't give Auntie era, even though
She does.
So, question.
But it's the knees. It's
What
the knees.
was the furthest you ran in your early 20s?
In my early 20s? 6 miles, 10K.
Okay.
I would run like an hour. I'd run like an hour.
You don't recognize how this sudden desire to do Ironmans and those longer runs came as you got older. Miss Ma'am, marathons.
Son of a bitch, you know?
Marathons are for people who are like, I ain't got nothing else to do. I can't hang with the kids no more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, the actual, yes, okay, all right, okay, I admit it. But the moment I knew I was entering this new act in my life, when I would catch myself walking, like strolling along the river with my hands behind my back.
Really?
That's
So
so
I do.
comfortable.
Are you a 70-year-old white man as well? Like, what's happened?
So I've just become my grandfather, basically.
Tell you when I knew I was an uncle is literally watching yours and Nick's stories, because you still get standing tickets at gigs.
Oh,
and like,
No.
I get vexed at you. I'm like, why are you standing, man?
This is the last year. I went to Boiler Room and I spent 50% of the time sitting on the grass.
Oh my days.
Yeah,
It's too
and I was so happy sitting on the grass.
Yeah, I'm past
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I'm beyond standing tickets now.
Good.
See, what I'm finding a little bit offensive is just how hard my guy back there is laughing.
Man,
You cheesed a little bit too hard there, sir. Cheesed a bit too much. Not too much now.
Who was you went to? Was it Meg?
when for standing,
Yeah.
yeah, it was Megan Thee Stallion, and I literally kid you not, I was like, dip it low, pick it up slow. I dipped it low.
And it wasn't voluntary.
Just dipped it low.
Dipped it low.
There was no pickup.
Seriously, it was me and Shabazz. We both went down at the same time, and as we were both gonna come up, we like linked arms and we're like, let's do this.
Winch
Just started-
You know what you asked me? How I felt that I
Proper
looked when that was happening. That wouldn't have looked good, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
And it wasn't even exaggerated. I was like, I truly
That's it.
can't get back up alone.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
If you've been affected by aging disgracefully, we'll
Yeah.
put a number on the screen now.
I was at a friend's house the other day. I sat down for too long. I felt everything started to tighten up. So I got up and was pacing. And I had my hands behind my back listening to people talking. I was like, it's that beautiful mix of grandfather and invigilator.
Invigilator.
Like making sure nobody's cheating on their test, but listening real careful.
Yes, because I do it when I teach my classes. When I'm like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go, I'll have the hands behind the back. And
Does
I'm
it
like,
feel comfortable? It doesn't feel comfortable
It's
when I do it.
grounding. It's like the opposite of a power stance. It's like a,
I'm not threatening, but I'm in control.
Interesting. I
exactly
might
that.
try it. What's your beef with Crocs?
It's just an ugly shoe.
So's a Yeezy.
Compared to Yeezys.
Come on, man.
They're really comfortable, and
So are Crocs.
I think Crocs are worse looking. Like Crocs look like it's like a shoe that a nurse wears.
Well, I mean, that's
Do you remember those like? Do you remember
Yeezys are
those?
like
Do you remember those? What do you call
the
them?
Last of Us shoes.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, like
They
some
do
You're
look
in a
like that.
zombie
No,
apocalypse,
cordyceps.
it's a cordyceps shoe.
I don't know what it is.
He's not got the reference.
They're very comfortable
Okay.
as well.
I
You
have
go to a
heard that they
public
are
swim bath.
comfortable.
Would you have to have something on your foot?
Would I have to? As in,
Would you?
between the swimming pool and the changing room.
Yeah. Would you have to? Like, would you choose to?
don't know. Probably not. Well,
Are you barefoot in it?
The fact
I
that you've
don't, but I
even
don't
had
really
to-
go to public. I don't really go to public swimming baths. I might like if I go to like a hotel situation. They give to. I haven't got. Oh, those are my shoes for going. from
Literally,
the-
that's why I bought Crocs. I'm not even joking because I had sliders, and I go to a nice gym. But I feel like the more that people have, the dirtier that they get.
Yeah.
It's nasty. It's nasty.
I'm not
And there was
going
one
to-
time I was wearing sliders and someone's hair was on the top of my foot.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing that. So I bought Crocs literally just for the gym. It's disgusting, man.
It's interesting.
It's probably about a 15 meter walk that I need to do. But I bought Crocs for that.
There's
journey.
something about wet feet when you know other wet feet
But
are. I just
Yeah, because like one piece of a speck of dirt becomes a disease.
no,
Like,
but
when
this
I- when
is
it
purely
touches my
a
foot.
psychological thing. The amount of things you touch in a day, the amount of things you walk past, the amount of people coughing, and you're like, it's purely a psychological
Yeah, you're
thing that
too
you
comfortable.
think just walking from.
Nah, I was raised basically to be told that everyone else is dirty. Like if it ain't in my house, it's not right. So like, I don't trust anybody else.
Are you sharing mic with 10 man?
Am I touching the mic?
Microphone.
I am not
there's
touching
there's
the
a
mic.
microphone epidemic.
I came into the gym the other day. I saw someone shaving his body head to toe
Yeah.
in front of the mirror.
Where do you think he's been though? In the gym on all the machines. Like this is the mad
Yeah,
thing.
but I don't
You
trust
say-
how much he washes
But
himself.
you're able to separate. I don't know why, but somehow you're separating. Like you think everything else other than his feet.
There was
is-
something
is-
about
is
him
clean.
that told me that he doesn't wash properly.
Probably. Probably not.
And I don't trust that.
Can we? I'm not going to let us brush over. What do you mean he was shaving his body head to toe?
Why he was in a towel shaving his sternum.
This is a bald man situation.
You see, I actually wouldn't mind.
These
if
are
it was
only
just
bald
his
men
head.
that do this. Was he
No,
bald?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't,
He wasn't bald.
He wasn't bald.
Did he start there and he carried on down the chest?
Just stood out in the open, shaving his entire body. And again, like I don't know why I didn't just challenge him on this.
Yeah, why would
Because it's none of your business.
No,
Oh, it is
do
my
that- no, but do
business.
that
When
in
I
your
pay
house.
my big money to
Do
go
that-
into
do
that
that
gym,
in
of
your
course
house
it's my
still.
business.
Yeah, and if you're paying big money, I better be shaving my chest. Why? Where else are you gonna shave?
At home.
Home.
At home. No,
Nah,
no, no, no.
don't do that. Cleaning up there.
What?
Are you okay?
This is why I'm not in gyms like that anymore.
Yeah, no, you can't be.
No, there's-
Disgraceful behaviour, man.
it's disgusting.
I'm surprised that they're doing that at Equinox. That's where you go. Right?
Equinox.
Oh, got the
It's
Equinox
not.
money.
Soul Cycle.
My Vitality discount is the only reason I'm at the gym I'm at.
Okay.
So
Sure.
we know what it is then. We know what it is.
Exactly.
Without going into any more detail.
You know exactly where I'm at.
But this,
Trying to be like you.
but this is a problem that you
I've
have
got
though,
health insurance.
Yeah.
when you've hit that awkward mid range there.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know.
problem with the
I know.
Vitality. It's people are still comfortable enough to be shaving their whole body, but not shameful enough, to
Yeah.
take that behind closed doors.
Yeah, that is true. I need to come to your gym, Ali.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be welcome with
I wouldn't need to wear Crocs there, would I?
I still do it.
Really?
Actually, what I do is I step out of the shower and I have a little towel there because I
Yeah, you
also
gotta
hate
do
when
that.
my body is dry, my feet are wet. So then I shuffle with my feet on the towel to my locker,
Okay.
and I
then
look
do
cute
you
when I
wash-
do it.
Is it like the towel they give you?
It is the towel they give me. So I have the towel for my body, and then I have like the little towel that I put on my feet.
The one that they give you.
Yeah.
But how are you confident that towel's clean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I work there.
see,
so.
this is the
I know how it. I know
this
how
is the spiral that you.
My mum actually did say that to me
into.
once because I put on my story the other day about the dirtiness in the gym. My mum, I got into a conversation with my mum and she was like, "What, you use the towel that they give you at the gym?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like,
She's got a point.
She has. But
So-
you see, this is me stepping out of the home, man. You gotta shake a few things up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just saying, if you're gonna be in that, germaphobe orbit, like I'm just saying, go the whole hog. Don't have this sort of cognitive dissonance where you think only someone's wet feet are the things that are gonna get you duppied. Just get athlete's foot. There's far worse things from the knees up that will, bro. Some of them will kill you. So just either like wake up.
You know the maddest thing is, right? I've probably got the most mash-up feet that anyone has got in this room as well. Yeah, I'm more bothered about other people's feet. Have you ever seen
It's
pictures of Shaq's
projection.
toes?
Projection,
I think it
isn't
might be projection.
Yeah.
It might be projection. It's disgusting. Sorry, I've sent us on a tangent there.
Yeah.
It was a good tangent.
Well, also, we don't know it's toe or bunion. We don't know what's going on.
I haven't got
And
bunions
the
yet.
shoes keeping it together.
My orthopedics.
Mad thing. The first topic was childhood moments or situations
This is the one that you said, Solana.
that defined our identities. Yeah, we've spoken on aspects of different things before, but you know, it could be an interesting little topic. Did you have something in mind
Well,
that floated into you?
Well, I was thinking about like the moments in your childhood that defined your sort of like relationship to blackness. But then I was also just thinking more generally, like I was watching an episode of another podcast where, is it Maisie Williams? Arya from Game of Thrones was basically talking about how she had a very turbulent childhood where she had like experienced very little joy. And she was like, oh, so when I got older and I'd go to therapy and people were like, oh, like go back to the time when you were a child and you experienced joy. She was like, I have nothing really to go back to. So like, how do I find joy when like I didn't have it when I was younger? And then I also saw Inside Out too, which is like a lot about like,
really good.
so should be, side note, pull over, it should be required viewing for
100%.
everybody.
No, it actually should be, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all about like that those internal sort of like initial beliefs and narratives that we've like come up with as kids. So I was like thinking, okay, well, what are some of the things that stand out to you about like moments that stand out to you when you're a kid about your blackness and your identity, and like how did you interpret those moments?
So I've got a good one. It's not how it's going to be how you think. And it's not necessarily like it's been positive in the long term. So as we mentioned many times, being done from Homeforth High School, like 6 black people or something, maybe less, maybe 12, 15 non-white people out of 1,200. And I'm in like year 8. So what are we now, 12, 13? And I wanted to borrow Rough Riders Volume 2 CD to put onto my computer. This guy had it. This guy was many years older, used to play basketball. And he was a white guy. And I had Noriega, N-O-R-E. Great.
Wow.
Great. Like underrated. Like, you don't want to throw the word classic out, but it's genuinely got like 4 classic, all-time hip-hop classic songs on it.
Yeah.
But so we arranged this swap deal, and then I get it back. I go up to him to get it, and I don't really know this guy. Someone else has set the connect up. It might have been Joss, and I went, so I said to him, "Safe Ninja," but I obviously don't say ninja. I say the word. Now, obviously, I'm black and I have a black family. But there's never been any conversation about what that is or what that means. They've shown us Roots.
Yeah.
We sat and watched 6 hours of Roots in history, and that was it. And I said this thing, and this guy's face, he just like, what did you just say? And his best friend was mixed race, and he was like, so and so. Guess what he's just said? And then he told him, and he looked, the way he looked at me, I was like, oh, I fucked up.
Serious?
And yeah, it was, and they were just like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you say that?
Oh my God.
And it became this whole massive thing. And I was like, I didn't really know what I'd said.
Please tell me you got suspended for this. That would be jokes.
No, I did not. I got ridiculed quite a lot
even
for
worse.
quite a while. And then I went back and I told my cousin about it. And he was just like, you're an idiot. Because he was older than these boys as well. He's like, you're an absolute idiot. This is why you are an idiot. And I was just like, oh. And then that was like that. I sort of didn't unpack it, but I was like, you didn't even kind of realize like who you are or what you are. So it was deep, but I did not have the capabilities to deal with that at the time. And then it's always been just in my mind, and it was in my mind then when I went on to college and like who have you got around you, and it's in my mind then when I went to uni and I'm playing rugby with like just like again it's the same, and you're always in the manner as a black person in that environment, and it's always just been in my mind. So it was just that experience of that one day when I was trying to swap that CD and I said something just like wild. It's really it's stayed with me. I don't know how I feel about it now. I don't feel embarrassed about it. I feel kind of
innocent thing to do though.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. Has someone failed me? Have I failed myself? It's a really I don't know how to. I still don't know how to properly like understand like that situation. Other than the fact like obviously with my girl now, I'm gonna tell her, she's got so many books. This is what you are. This is who you are. You've got.
But at least you can step out of her front door and actually see black people.
Oh my God! Next door neighbours.
Yeah, we didn't have that benefit when we were kids, did we?
No,
So.
but that experience was a wild one.
I think you almost have to look at it from the mentality of like where you were at that age, because if you try to reverse kind of interpret it, obviously you're going to feel differently about it than when you were a child. But like I had a similar experience, not where I said that, but I must have been really, really little, and my favorite movie at the time was The Little Mermaid. And I remember I must have told my dad like, oh, I wish I was like white with red hair and green eyes. But in my like, let's just say 6-7-year-old brain, I wasn't like, oh, woe is me for being a black woman. I was like, I just want to be like this mermaid who I'm obsessed with. And
mermaids can't be black. Do you know that?
Well, take it up with Ali. But my dad told me my dad pulled me aside and was like, had a conversation with me about like, oh, I think I told his girlfriend at the time, and she had told him, and he was like crying because he was like, I heard that you said that you wanted to be white, and he was so upset about it. And I still didn't really understand like what the big deal was, because I obviously my head was like, I want to be a mermaid, or like I think I'd be like prettier as this as Ariel, specifically Disney's Ariel. And then for some reason like that made me feel like a weird sort of shame, because I felt like I'd done something that made my like dad cry. And then I had some like weird relationship around like being, I don't know, like making sure to prove that I was like black enough around my black family. Like I wasn't just like disowning my black side. I don't know. It gave me that same thing where I had like a strange awareness where I was like, oh, I like didn't even think about it this way. And now I'm still reflecting on like, what did that mean back then? Obviously in my adult context, I can see my dad's perspective, but I don't know really what it meant to me at the time as a kid, except that I just felt uncomfortable about it.
Was it just Ariel that you wanted to be like? Yeah. But I think my words as a kid probably was like, oh, I wish that I was white, and like in my head, because I remember at the time I specifically wanted, I was like, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna have green eyes and red hair. Like my brain thought that was like a reality. It must be a complex thing though, because I think I've said on the pod before that my cousin, she's mixed, but so her dad is half black and her mum's white, so she's a quarter black, and she's very much white passing. I think the trained eye, you can see that there's something in there, but she's very much white passing. And I remember her kind of being the opposite when she was younger and saying that she can't wait to be older, so she's going to be black like all of her aunties, like dark skinned, and like having that conversation with her. But like, your mum is a light skinned, like she's what, half white, half Mexican, is it?
Yeah, but she presents as just white. I mean,
exactly.
I was
This is what I mean.
surrounded by whites.
This
like,
is what I mean.
growing
So
up.
if you've got a brown mixed person who is young, and this is so much of her life, and she sees that, then yes, it's a difficult feeling and a difficult thing for your dad to hear, but you can completely understand it.
Yeah, I do understand it in the context then. And to be honest, truthfully, as a kid, like my only examples of beauty were white people. Like there were no, I cannot think of any like black women who were celebrated as being beautiful growing up.
I don't really think in like
in my media
general pop
or
culture,
like or where I grew up.
No, it really was. It was a rarity.
There was like Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell, but those were like the only.
Yeah, but that was about it.
Lisa Bonet. All
I didn't know
in general pop culture.
No, I guess.
Yeah, like
what I
in
mean.
black circles.
In black culture, yeah.
Okay. But they weren't. Yeah, you weren't getting people being like, oh yeah, Lisa Bonet, Halle Berry, and them. Like they came later when we were.
I remember being at high school and someone telling me that Beyonce is good looking for a black woman.
Yikes!
At high school.
To be fair,
that's not that long ago.
Well, yeah, she would have only been like 19, so
we'll have been even younger, but still.
I find this question really interesting because it was like, so I think the two parts that you mentioned, right, the source of joy, and then like that childhood experience, and then that connection with blackness. Because I feel like my connection with blackness didn't really kick in until uni.
Same.
Like I grew up, well, I was born in Nigeria. So when I moved over here, we moved to Lewisham. So black folk everywhere. On the estate, black kids, white kids, we're all poor. So I don't know who you might give for raise. But we grew up, went through school, didn't see any of it. I went to a private school, but it was a private school in Catford. So there was still a good mix of black people there as well. So no one could really tell us anything about, education standards. I think my first negative shift was maybe around GCSE, so like year 10, year 11, because I'm talking about, predicted grades are A stars, and the B was the one that was going to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to church, and it's people who are, they aren't in private school. They're going to schools in Southwark and Lambeth. So like the educational investment and the quality was not as good as it was in my school. No bragging, it just wasn't. And so their perspective on what good would look like was like, if they could get their B's and C's, they were like, yeah, amazing, I've done well. And at the time, I just remember being like, oh, rah. Is it just that these people, and I don't know if I associated it with black people overall or the Nigerians not having high ambition. So that was my perspective on that. And I was like, wow, it just seems like if I can't get too close to them because they don't have anywhere that they want to be. And I remember, the one thing I really do remember is it clouded my perspective on who I saw as potential partners. Mm-hmm. So I found black girls attractive, but in my head they were buff, but they were never going to be relationships. Because I was like, yeah, educationally, like I don't feel like I can have a conversation with you that would be on a level. I had the arrogance of private school almost turned me into a Bim Afolabi or a Kemi Badenoch, where I let that arrogance really put myself on a pedestal and make me feel like I was better than others. Until I went to Warwick, and you are surrounded by excellence. Like the ACS, the NSOC, every one of them was doing a difficult course. Every one of them was intelligent. Every one of them just had that level of challenge that really made me reflect. Like I'm lucky that I had the opportunity to reflect and correct instead of finding myself in the wrong groups.
Yeah.
That would have meant I could have gone further down that conservative mindset. But I think, that for me was really that battle with what I thought it meant to be black. It didn't help that the narrative on, I remember the TFL campaign. I don't know if you guys would have been in London back then, but there was a campaign on all the buses where it was like, we're going to be really considerate on public transport. And what that means is, and there was a picture of a black person, and the message was, I'm not going to play my music out loud. There was a picture of an Asian person, I'm not going to have smelly food on the bus.
No.
What?
Yeah, that campaign would not have run. And I'm pretty sure it was Boris's time as mayor of
it would have
London.
been,
And like the white one was something like, "Oh, I'll give up my seat for
For an elderly or
person."
pregnant. Oh my days. Are you serious?
But like when you're absorbing that, and that's the messaging that's coming in, as well as the arrogance of private schools.
Yeah.
I think I had very negative associations with blackness, and almost didn't want to engage with it. But then there was that dichotomy within myself where when I was going to ACS and NSOC meetings and I didn't know any of the songs, I didn't know, like even now, I'd struggle to get involved in hip hop conversations because in our church, in our house, it was gospel music or nothing. So, I think the first hip hop album that I got was Outkast's Speakerbox Love Below, and that was
It's a good first album to have though.
Gateway.
and it's because I borrowed it from one of my friends in my form group.
Nice.
Back when Apple just let you burn everybody's CDs.
Oh yeah.
You say that about the TFL though. Did you see the Heinz advert recently?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Right, so I think it was it a wedding picture?
Yes.
It was a wedding picture. You got the bride and groom, they're a mixed couple, obviously. White man, brown, well, black. Was she dark
She was
skin?
black, yeah.
Yeah. There was a black woman, was the bride, and they've got their parents, except from there's a difference. He has both of his parents in shot. She just has her mother in shot. Honestly,
Heinz,
it's mad.
but now family sized.
Yeah, that was the slogan, but now family sized. How fucked up is that?
Like,
Come on,
you could
let's-
have pulled any black person off the street to be like, pretend to be this person's dad. Like, Jesus.
They don't
What's the
exist.
excuse?
Come on, let's think about this,
Oh my
okay?
God.
She's a black woman. Everyone knows black women don't have dads.
We're like dwarves. We just pop out of the ground.
Right. You just water.
That's some Lord of the Rings humor for you. If you know, you know.
It's so mad because they will have just not from an advertising perspective. They will not specified, and then they would have been like, oh well, let's have a black woman in it, and then obviously a mum's going to be in it, and it'll just get to the point where you fill out the picture, and then someone's just like, well, obviously they'll be both the white parent, and then it's just no one's ever said the extra bit.
Yeah.
Like we just
So wild.
because even in the frame wise, like it doesn't even.
Doesn't make sense.
So why? Yeah. So why
Yeah.
have you done it like that? So it's not in black people not in the room, black people not working on the account, black people not working for Heinz.
Yeah.
So.
It's a bit mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my relationship with blackness wasn't positive until uni. Basically until I was like, my friends are pretty racist here in Palm Desert. And I actually don't want to take this shit anymore because I think I'm an awesome person. So I had to do the work, mostly because I was like, I don't want to feel this way about myself. And when I went to uni, I was surrounded by more people who treated me better than what I'd grown up with. And I was like, oh, so not everybody is an asshole. Like I do have value to people who are white. But I wasn't aware of being black until maybe 7 or 8 when like my mom would drop me off at school and kids would be like, oh, are you adopted? So like when people kept asking me these questions, I was like, I literally I didn't see race until that point in my life. And
But
then
why
I was
would
like,
you?
oh, it didn't even dawn on me because everybody's all different shades in my family. So it just didn't even dawn on me like, oh, you'd have just one color in your family.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was funny in mine because the women in my family, almost to a person, are just gangsters, right? Like wonderful, successful, smart, charming, loyal, amazing women, but they're gangsters. So the slightest thing that could even, if there was like a whiff of racism in it when I was a kid, because I was the first grandchild, I was the first nephew, I was the first everything. Just a ton of people are going up to the school. Like, where does the dinner lady live? We're going to her house. Like that actually happened. That's not an exaggeration. Dinner lady at the bottom of our road, we're going to go pay her a visit because she's been treating you differently to other people.
Yeah.
So like, these were like indiscretions that I didn't even know were coming from a place of racism, basically, necessarily. But you say something like harmlessly to your mum over dinner one night, and mum's like, right, no, 1 second. Knocks on the door, right, we're going down. Like, genuinely, my first ever nativity, I was a donkey, but I was the only one, I think, that didn't have a mask. They just put ears on me, and I was dressed in all brown. So imagine when my family hear about this, everyone going up to the school, how am I one of the three kings in the actual nativities? So this is the thing, man. So it's like, my grandma is a really interesting case study because obviously
Played
Windrush
Jesus
generation.
and Mary the next year. It's a one-man show.
It's mad.
It's actually a one-man show.
My grandma, she's a gangster, like just so complex because Windrush, but she managed to like she was a social climber, big time. She made certain moves, she did certain things and put herself in certain rooms that weren't expected of people that came to the country when she did. And as a result of that, there's still jokes in our family about her being Margaret Thatcher's like biggest fan. Like she's very conservative in one way, but then at the same time, like just the mere suggestion of racism, like she's going to war, especially when it's her family. But then at the same time, all of her children, elocution lessons, like beg, borrow and steal, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that to get them into private school, so they are not like the other black kids in the town that we grew up in.
Yeah.
And it's mad because my mum and her brothers and sisters, even though their mother is very much a Jamaican woman and she speaks a certain way and looks a certain way, they all are very, very much middle class upbringing. Like my mum was the first black girl in the town to have her own car and that kind of thing. They were a bit stush. So it's like, it's crazy that you would almost assume that if that is the expectation, and I was told from the second I was born, you're going to university, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do the other, you would expect that you might be persuaded to move away from blackness, but it was always reminded to me every single day, every single time I was at my grandma's, she's like sitting me down, this is where you come from, this is what black people have done. She would tell me, still to this day actually, I got 29 images from my grandma today on WhatsApp, just of different things that black people have invented. And that's just, that's what I've just received my entire life. So like, even though I was in these schools and in these circles that were predominantly white, I think that's why I've never had any kind of questions over my own blackness, because the first time my blackness started to get called into question was when I was like playing ball and I'm with the black people in Huddersfield and we have all of the same like all points of reference. We all speak the same language, but I sound different because I grew up in a white area. So it's like we would be talking the same language, but they'd be like, you're the Yorkshire boy. And it's like, we're all Yorkshire. No, you're the Yorkshire boy. And that's when I would start to have like a little bit of a question of my own blackness. But then as I got older and I'd sit down with it, I'm like, that ain't really a thing, is it? Come on. But like, I kind of, as much as I assimilated when I was at high school, I was also very much like, my planner had all of the like rap logos in it. All of my stuff was It was LeBron James, it was Allen Iverson, it was Thierry Henry. None of my icons were white, which just, I think, it was never going to be any other way because of the way that my grandma, my aunts, and my uncles and my parents were so pro-black, even though you are here in this specific place. So there was never any question for me. And like Carnival, like my grandma was on the West Indian committee for the Carnival. Half of my mum, aunties and uncles, and they've all been like, if you're not the Carnival queen, you're some prominent role in Carnival and that kind of thing. So it's always been there.
That's so
but it just felt like there were almost two lives that I lived. One where I could live that to its fullest, one where it had to be a little bit more muted, but it was still there.
Yeah.
Like I was always the one that would take the piss out of my friends for their music taste, even though I was the one that had the odd one. I was the odd one out.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you guys listening to this shit? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I was never in the middle floor at Tokyo's, for instance. Like little things like that. Like I would never assimilate in that way. But
Sorry, can you, middle floor at Tokyo's?
it's actually bottom floor where they play like Razor Light and all that kind of the kind of shit that Jello would love. Paramore.
Okay, well, not too much.
Not too much of Paramore.
Not too much. Paramore, they didn't do anything. Misery Business?
Paramore is actually really good.
I
mean,
I
very
had no
talented.
idea like they were Paramore were like.
That video that went around the other day about white songs that black people love. Paramore. got
Paramore,
brought to that.
Misery Business?
Misery Business.
I don't know anything about Paramore.
Get to know.
Genuinely, like
But I
when
think
we
you
had
would-
that.
Appreciate at least like her vocal.
No, but I listened because you see, I'm trying to be a better man. So I listened. I was like, maybe I am missing something. There was nothing that moved me. Nothing moved me.
Was meant to
Nothing.
think.
She's
Oh, you want it, I don't want it now.
the one from the B.O.B. song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dead song. Like
I mean, that's probably the worst song.
Yeah, terrible pick.
she's not for me. They're not for me.
Nah, but you know what? There's like some of those rock songs that be hitting. Like My Chemical Romance.
Oh,
You
don't
see,
talk
you've
to me about
gone the
my-
complete opposite direction. to
Well,
where
so
I was gonna go.
someone said the other day.
I mean, but I was raised by white, so I know all that
trouble-
stuff.
We'll carry on. We'll carry on.
The trouble in America started when white stopped forming bands in the garage.
Yeah.
That is a
And
clear.
black stopped going to church.
Exactly. That was a clear.
That is true, actually.
That's where the music
R&B
died.
just
All of
Dead.
it just dead.
Dead.
You need black people going to church. You need white people starting bands for Battle of the Bands in their parents' garage.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
I'm
just
down
pick
for
up
that.
tiki torches now, don't they? Like there's no other way to like fuel angst.
Cultural. There's no outlet, is there?
There is no outlet. Oh, that's a shame.
Like, forget all of the Department of Education, Ministry of Education reforms. Just start playing like School of Rock and Fighting Temptations in schools again. That's what I want to see. Everybody, get your education back. Musicians, go to it.
No, absolutely. I'm all behind that.
It will heal the world.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
We've been Black in a Box, featuring.
Plantation Tales.
Yeah,
What
where are
about
you on
Sunday?
socials?
Yeah, you can find me at TFTP_TUNDE on Threads, Twitter, Insta.
You on Threads?
Yeah, man, Threads is just a lot nicer to be on.
Yeah, fair.
How? Yeah. What I was thinking the other day, like basically, in terms of X, I got so annoyed when they stopped giving you your curated feed.
His mama called him Twitter. I'ma call him Twitter.
In Twitter. That's it. It's the professional me speaking. And I was like, and now I find I spend a lot more of my time in just the other like unregulated, because I'm just like, I just need to see what's in here.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing this because for enjoyment anymore. So I just need to get out of it because it's not doing anything good for my
It's
soul.
horrible, isn't it? It's horrible.
And then our socials at Black in a Box Podcast.
Plug it.
And if you would like to get in touch, blackinabox@gmail.com. And please, if you could leave us a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can leave us a review. It does us a huge favor, so that would be awesome. And make sure you share and subscribe and like, and that's me done.
Thank you. And we out.